Hello everyone, let's understand what is component and in real-time example. So basically component is a building block of Angular application, and one or more components working together and rendering onto the web browser will become a web page. So this is a little bit tricky to understand. So let's understand a component with a real-time example. Let me create a project. So now the project is created. Let's just start the application and see. So now the application started. Let's just check whether the application is up and running. Now you see Angular 17 application started. Let's try to create the component and understand the component in a easy format, and I will write the simple component. So to create a component, we have to use ng generate component. I'll just create it like a child component. Now that we got the component, if you see, the component is created under this app folder, and this is a child component. Now what we will do is, since we have this complete content, let's get rid of all these things. Now this whole page is empty. Let's just add a navigation bar. Let's just check. So this is the navigation bar right now that we got. So let it be. Let's try to align, add some styles. We'll push the text to the center. Sorry. We'll push the navigation bar content to the center. Now we got the content to the center. Let's just increase the size of the text. Also we'll just add a HR. It will just add a line here. Okay, now let's check the child component, the one that we created. This is child component. So this is how it will be. If you see the component TS file, okay, this is a spec file. If you see the component TS, the selector name is app child. So that is the reason I used app child here. Right now there is nothing. So to pass the, for suppose, let's just keep a child string like, okay, let's first check whether the child is rendered. So now the child is rendered in the parent component. How you see parent and child is, if you just inspect and see, so app route, this is a pager parent component, and just to check, if you see, this is a parent component. Within the parent component we added this child component. Okay, so that's why under the app route you are seeing child component. It is within the app route. Okay, now what we will do is, we'll just get rid of this one and we'll say hello. We'll add the name. I'll just pass the name to this child. We'll say okay. Let's just put this in H2 just to see it better. Now we need to pass this name from the parent component. Okay, so to pass the parent component a child, so this is how you should pass the name, the value directly. You can give the value here like this, but you need to get hold of this name value in the child TypeScript class. So to get hold of that input parameter that is coming from parent, this is how you should use. Okay, now we are passing a parameter name to the child. So to get hold of the value that is coming from the parent, you should use @input, and by default it is empty, but since we are passing this value to the name, so when we render this child component, it will get hold of that whatever the value that is passed, and it will replace in this particular place. Okay, so now let's check. Okay, there is some issue. Let's see. Okay, there is something wrong. Okay, let's check what is wrong. So this is correct. This is correct. Okay, let's see how we are passing. Okay, what we will do is, okay, there is one single quote is missing. Now it should come. Okay, yeah. Now if you see this name that is passed from the parent, but it is the string that is rendered from child. Let's check. So if you see, this is the child component and this is the parent component. So if you select the child component, it is selecting the exact child component. So this is child and the whole parent is here. So this is how we should pass the value from the parent, which is app component, to the child, app child. Now that we passed a single string, okay, let's try to pass multiple values. How we can pass array of values to the child. Okay, to pass either directly we can put it here, but it's not going to look good. So what we will do is we'll name it like names list and we'll pass it from this component class. Okay, how we can pass array, let's say Shiva Kumar. So we have two values now. We need to maybe append first name and last name and show it in the child component. Now it is the array, so it will get the array of values, and let's go to the child component. Now it's not going to be single string. Okay, so we have to set it like array, and now let's change it to names list. Okay, let's go to the parent and we'll change the name. It is not just a single name. So now let's change it to names list. We'll get hold of this names list here. And we'll just say any type, or you can directly give string since it is string. Okay, let's just keep it any for now. Now that we got list, we cannot directly give it like this. Okay, let's just check how this is going to behave. It is working, but still if we have more number of people, okay, right now this is working. We passed a couple of values. We'll try to pass a different type of thing, okay, a different type of array. So what we will do is, in the parent component, we'll give a object array. We'll say first name and last name. Now that this is the object array, let's see what is happening. Now you see, since it is object, it is not showing the values. So what we need to do is to display the object array. This is not going to work. So for that, we have to use ngFor. Okay. This names list, and now that we get each name, now we can simply say name dot first name. We will give a comma and a name dot last name. Okay, now you see the object is parsed and we showed this. And let's see how we can pass more number of values. Now we can simply say let's see how this is going to behave now. Now you see it is repeated twice for two values. Why? Because if you see the child component, this we are iterating and printing this whole h2 content twice because of the for loop. We have two records. Okay, so now this is how we can pass the single string value and a list of values in the array and list of objects from parent to child. The major important thing is @input selector, and based on the type of the value that you are giving, you have to say whether it is a string or array. And from the parent, when you go to the parent class, this is how you should pass the values to the child. Thank you. See you in the next video.